Hello and welcome to this week's big match preview on LUTV ahead of a Easter weekend of football which sees Leeds United take on Wigan at Elland Road before travelling to Brentford on Easter Monday. Leeds legend Eddie Gray is alongside us, of course, to look ahead. Firstly to Wigan today, and Eddie, I mean, look, we call this the big match preview, but I mean, they're getting bigger and bigger every week because there's just 4 to go.
Well, they are, Tom. You know, we say it every week, but you're at home. You know, it's an advantage to be at home, you know, on Good Friday. But this is usually, Tom, the defining weekend of the whole season. Things usually get sorted out. Who's going to get relegated? Who's going to get promotion automatically? Who's going to be in the top 6? We're in the driving seat. You just got to win your games and you're there. You know, the Wigan game, on paper, it looks as if, yeah, we should win the game. But you look at the position they're in, Rotherham are not going away for them. They're hanging on there. So Wigan will be coming to our place thinking if we get the result there, we can, you know, salvage our place in the Championship. And you go to Brentford, a place that's been traditionally, you know, a difficult place for us to play. But the way the boys are going about the job now, you know, you would fancy them. It wouldn't surprise you if they win the 2 games.
And they've got to take so much confidence from last week, from the performance. I mean, the result was the most important thing, Eddie, but they performed so well against Wednesday, didn't they?
Tom, they should have won the game 5 or 6. Goalkeeper did a magnificent game. We missed a few chances. That happens in football. But we got the all-important goal. You know, good ball in for Pablo and a great finish. Harrison, terrific. You know, and you know the whole place erupted. I think the emotion that day, because the supporters are watching that game and looking at how well we're playing, and even at half time in the press box and people buzzing, I think, I've got to get a goal. But the longer it goes on, you're thinking, oh, is it going to come? You know.
Yeah, and you think of defining sort of days in the season, that could be one, especially with Sheffield United conceding so late against Millwall.
Yeah, it was terrific. Well, I think the great thing about, you know, last weekend is, you know, for us, from our point of view, Millwall missed a penalty, and everybody thinks, oh, that's it, finished. They missed a penalty late on, and 4 minutes into injury time, you could hear the crowd at Elland Road, everybody, big cheer going up in the stands. You know, Millwall have equalised, and that's got to give our boys a lift. I mean, I'm not saying that's why they went out and played like they did, but it must have given them a bit of a lift, knowing that, you know, if you win, you go clear. And
well, that's the advantage when people talked about the psychological thing of playing after Sheffield United. Well, if Sheffield United win 3-0, you know, it is a blow, isn't it? It's going to hurt you.
Well,
in some
of course
way,
it is.
No?
The players will be sitting there thinking, well, we've got to win the day, you know. But when they went out and we played with freedom, you know, I thought we were terrific. I thought one of the best performances of the season, you know, given the circumstances, having to win the game. And they definitely deserve to win it, Tom.
Well, Leeds United have done that many times this season, of course. When they've had to win games, they've gone and done it. They've taken a Wigan side who, as Eddie says, you know, battling down at the bottom of the table. Last time we played Wigan, feels like quite a while ago, this, of course, back in November. This was another solid away victory this season. Scoreline may be closer than the actual game sort of panned out. It was a strange moment, of course, this free kick early doors. But, you know, it was a good, solid win against a decent side because they were in good form at the time.
He's a decent player, you know. But when you actually analyse the game, Tom, we won the game comfortably, you know, from a playing point of view, you know. But they're a decent side. I mean, they put up a good performance last week against Norwich. We were unlucky not to get the winning goal with a header at the end. I know it was offside, but just, and I thought they put in a good shift, you know.
Yeah, of course, in this game, we managed to get the goal in the second half. But it was a good sort of typical away performance, wasn't it? You know, there were chances in the match. Yeah. And, you know, it was when we were on this fantastic run. The winning goal, Eddie, I'm surprised this isn't in for goal of the season. I don't know how come it's not in the shortlist.
It was some mistake, though. I mean, like, but Kemar Roofe follows it in, you know. That was unlucky for them there at the end there. But Kemar Roofe follows it in, they slip up between the goalkeeper and defenders, rolls into the empty net, you know.
Yeah, it was actually, despite all the chances that we did have and hitting the woodwork.
Yeah, I know. Well, we had a few chances.
Wigan could have actually nicked an equaliser. It goes to show how tight the games are.
Well, you know, that was a great victory. Yeah. You know, you go to places like Wigan, it's not easy, you know. And, you know, you've seen them last week against Norwich.
Well, how much should we read into this, Eddie? Because they are in decent form in terms of not losing many matches at the moment. They're not necessarily winning, but of course, you know, holding a team like Norwich is no mean feat, is it?
No, it isn't it? I mean, Norwich is a good side. We know that, Tom. And they'll be thinking to themselves, well, we gave Norwich a good test. You know, it was a good game. You know, we matched them. Let's go to Leeds and try and do the same thing. A little bit different when they're away from home, probably, but you know, they'll have took confidence for this game. I mean, I must say it was a great finish for the Norwich centre forward, Pookie. You know, very calm.
And this is the man to watch, Reece James, on loan from Chelsea. He was in the Championship Team of the Year. And when you're playing in a team like Wigan who've been struggling all season, that's no mean feat, is it, to get in the Team of the Year?
No, and Thom, he's a good footballer. And I tell you what, he's got an eye for goal as well. You've seen this here. You know, I know he took a penalty kick, but you know he's willing to take chances, take shots at goal. Powerful, a good runner with the ball. You know, good player.
Wigan, I suppose when you're looking at them, Eddie, better in attack than they are defensively. They cause us more problems in that
I would think
sense.
so. A big centre forward's a handful. He's a handful up there. I mean, he got a header last week. I mean, I've got to say this is a great finish with Pookie. He's been some signing. I don't think he cost any money as well.
Free transfer.
Free transfer. Free transfer. How many goals is that? 24.
Yep.
You know, incredible. You know, but in the last minute they could have lost again. You know, big centre forward header, just offside and just offside. It's one of them. He could have gave it quite easily. But looking at our side now, you know, it's hard to see beyond us against a Wigan side that have been down near the bottom of the table all season.
Only question mark might be Liam Cooper's fitness. Marcelo Bielsa didn't give too much away. He said, look, we'll look to play the same team. You know, we weren't going to take any risk with Cooper. And you're not going to with your captain at this stage of the season. But it's, you know, while Cooper's been outstanding this season, Berardi came in and did a brilliant job, didn't he, last week?
Well, you know, funny enough, you know, like no disrespect to anybody, but we've got players that can fill in that role. I mean, he can do it as well.
Yeah.
And you know, if he stepped in there, if Berardi wasn't fit, if he steps in there and Forshaw comes in at the middle of the park, you're not losing anything, Thom. You're not losing much at all. Obviously, you'd like to have your skipper fit. You know, like when I look at the side, you know, I think, you know, there's areas, you know, majority of areas we can actually fill in, but
yeah.
I wouldn't like to play with it, Pablo. No, I wouldn't. Even in these games, because especially at home, when teams sit a little bit deeper, they make it difficult. He can unlock the door, definitely. You know, and he's got the talent, he's got the ability, and fitness-wise, for a player his age, he looks after himself, and you know, a very important player.
Yeah, hugely important. It's at this stage where people like myself, Eddie, ask ex-players like yourself with 2 games in just a few days, would you even look at rotating the team or resting any players? But I think I know your answer to that.
If we go and beat Wigan, if we left any of their players out, they'd be knocking on the door. Yeah. Hey, what am I being left out? I want to play. We'll be dying to play. You imagine this weekend if you go and you beat Brentford at Brentford, you know, it doesn't make any difference what, you know, Sheffield United do, as long as we go out and win our games, you know, and that's what all these players will be thinking. Just win our games and we get promotion.
As for Wigan, obviously they've had good times in recent years, promotion of course. What's their approach going to be, Eddie? Because, you know, they'll probably think ordinarily a point at Elland Road would be a great point, but where they are in the table, given Rotherham, you know, breathing down their necks, 3 points would be huge for them. But do they take a risk? Do they come here and gamble? Do they go for the attack, or do they sit in and try and contain? Because either way, you're going to get picked off, aren't you?
Well, I think the manager, he's done a good job at Wigan. I think his philosophy on the game is let's get at them. Yeah. You know, now I don't think that he'll come to Elland Road and think, oh, we can sit back and we'll defend and we'll snatch one. He'll be thinking, we can't defend against them for 90 minutes. We've got to attack them. We've got to try and put them under pressure and they'll try and get us on the back foot. And I think that'll be the philosophy. And that's why I think it'll be an open game. And if it's an open game, then we've got the players, Thom, that can get forward and, you know, cause them so many problems.
It definitely suits us, doesn't it, if that's their approach. Just confirmation of the league table then, as we can see why it's so important that Wigan need the points. Of course, just 2 points above Rotherham with 4 to play. And, of course, Millwall, who are just above them, have that game in hand. For ourselves, Eddie, of course, you know, Norwich have dropped points in the last couple of matches. Now it's just a 4-point gap there. Yeah. But importantly for us, it's the 3-point gap over Sheffield United, which is all important. Oh,
that's the important thing. You know, it is. You know, like we can get into the games. You know, you don't get in relaxed, but you get in the knowledge that if you produce, you get up. And it's as simple as that. Now, the Sheffield United players, it'll be the opposite for them now. They'll be thinking, well, we've got to win today. And a little bit of nerves, you know, crept in. You know, apparently against Millwall more than held their own against them. So it's looking good, but you can't relax. In this league, you can't relax, Thom.
No, never have I paid so much attention to Sheffield United's team news this weekend because, you know, Billy Sharp, you know, is out. Egan as well. You know, they're missing some key players now, and it just, they probably, you know, hopefully they start to feel things are a little bit against us maybe. And,
well, I think they will be feeling the pressure, but so will Norwich. Norwich will be looking at their fixtures and think, now we've got to step on the gas a little bit here. They've slipped up. They've dropped 4 points in the last 2 games. You know, and against sides that the majority of people in the league would be thinking they'd win the games against Reading and against Wigan. It never happened for them. And they have a couple of tough fixtures to come as well.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe complacency, maybe not, but of course they're still in an incredibly strong position. Here's Wigan's last 5 games then, as we can see, decent results there. The one thing that's quite noticeable, bar that 0-0, is there's goals in the team, and that adds into what you were saying about Paul Cook's potential approach at Elland Road.
Well, I think so. I think they'll have a go. I mean, even against Norwich last week when they got the opportunity of throwing bodies forward against a good Norwich side, as you say. And when you actually look at the recent results, you go to Bristol City, you draw, And, the Brentford result, and they beat Bolton. I think, you're going to Hull and you lose 2-1. The last 5 games, the form's quite good. And they'll come here with a degree of confidence, I think.
Yeah, they will do. Hull, of course, an opponent for Sheffield United as well, which they've got to travel away from home and take them on. So that's not going to be an easy one, is it? Look at the odds then with Ladbrokes, the club's official betting partner. Leeds 4-11, heavy favourites. There've been a lot of accumulators this weekend. The draw 15-4. Wigan a huge 8-1. Probably one of the biggest prices you've had on an away team this season.
Yeah.
Both teams are scoring a Leeds win at 7-2. And being a little bit naughty, maybe put Roof to score first 3-1. I'd probably want a bigger price because we wouldn't expect him to start the game, would we? He's going to stay with Bamford.
I think he'll stay with Bamford. I don't think he'll change the side. I mean, Roof will probably come on, but if he gets on by that time, I hope we've got 3 or 4 in the back of the net. Because the one thing you've still got to look at, Tom, is that goal difference as well. There's not a lot in it now. Could
be crucial. It could swing around, of course. The other notable fixtures, of course, this Friday, and everyone's playing, of course, at different times, but Bristol against Reading in terms of the playoff race, but the big ones for us, Sheffield United taking on Nottingham Forest. Again, we'll know the result of that one before we kick off against Wigan, and Norwich taking on Sheffield Wednesday. Not easy games. I mean, Sheffield Wednesday, we know they're a decent side, but we played extremely well against them. But Forest, I know their playoff chase is over, but they're a dangerous side, as we found out this season.
Yeah, they are. I mean, if they go out and play anywhere near the maximum, they'll give Sheffield United a good game. I mean, and at this stage of the season for teams like Nottingham Forest, even like Hull, pride comes into it, Tom. They're going out there playing for the pride and they're playing for their club, so that's not an easy game. The thing that they'll be thinking, though, they can put a marker down again before the game, But I hope it's the type of marker they put down last week, when the Millwall result come through.
Yeah, well, we hope that more drop points for Sheffield United will give us a huge pre-match boost, of course, at Elland Road, as Leeds United prepare to take on Wigan Athletic. A game, of course, you can watch on LUTV as well, wherever you are around the world. Make sure you join us because tickets are like gold dust. Everyone's after them. Only a select few have actually got them to be inside the stadium. So if you can't be at Elland Road, head to the website leedsunited.com, UK and Ireland, or wherever else you can get your match pass and watch the game. We'll have all the build-up and, of course, post-match reaction with Eddie, Michael, Ben Parker and many, many more. So make sure you join us for that. But Eddie, thanks for the big match preview.
Tom, 6 points would make it a real happy Easter.
It really, really would. 6 points and who knows. We will find out, of course. It's exciting times, a bit nervy, but we're looking forward to it. So make sure you join us on LUTV for Leeds United against Wigan.